Wow. Ahsoka episode 5. Where do I even start? Where we left off last episode, we saw Ahsoka fall into the world between worlds and come face to face with her old master, Anakin Skywalker. Yes, we got to see Hayden Christensen de-aged in the flesh again, and it was amazing. I don't know about you, but it brought a tear to my eye and had me so excited for the next episode. Probably the most excited I've been in a long time for any piece of Star Wars media. Lo and behold, episode 5 came around. I watched it right as it came out, and I was not disappointed in the slightest. So we actually start the episode around where we left off with the other half of the gang, Hera, the X-Wing pilots, her son, traveling down to the planet where Ahsoka disappeared, where everyone shot off to the new beyond. Who knows where they went to go find Ezra, to find these magical powers. Who knows what they're doing there? So they touch down. Jason, Hera's child, feels something. Now, is this the Force? Is this his intuition? I think it's the Force. I think he reached out and felt a presence, and it led them to what they needed. This was a very cool scene just because we got to kind of see Jason in action. He's not just this weird little green-haired kid. He actually contributed to this journey, and that's definitely going to be looked back upon and appreciated by all these characters in the long run. Ahsoka is already appreciative of him, embracing him in a hug when she comes back. So this was a very cool moment. We got to see Chop being very talkative and protective of Jason while Hera is off doing her own little quest. And overall, this beginning just felt very, I don't want to say magical, but it felt magical in a sense. It also felt very like there was some despair. Where is our friend? Where did they go? We arrived too late. And you felt for the characters. And I think Dave Filoni did a great job executing this in directing. Everybody had emotion. Everybody was portraying their feelings very well. A lot of these shots were just beautiful. It felt very cinematic. I can see why they put this in select theaters for viewing, because the first 10-15 minutes of this, we haven't even seen Ahsoka yet, and it was just a ride. You could tell this story and this journey was moving forward in the way that it needs to. Quick little tidbit I want to throw in here is that we hear a name drop of Organa, and this is obviously Leia Organa. She is, in fact, involved in the New Republic at this time, and I was just so excited to hear that name. It made me think, wow, are we going to see her in any capacity this episode? Which we ended up not, but I think it's very possible we might see her in this series or a future series or some form in the Mandoverse movie. And obviously they're going to de-age her like she was in Rogue One, I would assume, but this just adds so much more excitement. The fact that she's out there somewhere, they're speaking about her, and that she is siding with the rebels. She is giving Hera time because she knows something is happening, I feel. I feel that Luke knows something is happening out there, and he's probably the one informing her of this. Let the New Republic do what they want. Help Ahsoka. Help these people figure out what evil's coming. And this is going to play a huge part in the Heir to the Empire movie. That name drop means more than a lot of people probably realize, and it's very exciting. Now, let's get the obvious best part out of the way. We cut to Ahsoka back in the world between worlds, face to face with Anakin. He calls her Snips one more time, tells her that he's going to finish her training. And what exactly is her training? Well, he is going to take her through these past events, and she's going to relive them and learn something from them. I think this went over a lot of people's heads. They just saw this as time travel or flashback or fan service, which, yes, of course, it's fan service. It's pleasing the fans. But the reason Anakin is taking her through this is to show her all these past events that played a role in her life and really how she can utilize that to stay alive and continue on this crazy journey she's about to go on. This was beautiful. Everything from Anakin speaking to her, finishing her so-called training, them just reconnecting again, seeing Ahsoka in her Clone Wars form, seeing a live-action Clone Wars, Siege of Mandalore, where we did not see Anakin at all. By that point, like Ahsoka said, they had separated. So the fact that we see Anakin in a battle that he's never been in is so cool to see. It was amazing to see him in his Clone Wars armor, Man, I could go on for ages and ages and ages about how cool these flashbacks were. I never thought in a million years when I watched the Clone Wars originally that I would ever see Anakin and Ahsoka together in live action. And this blew my goddamn socks off. Every moment of it was just beautiful, well crafted. It felt like we dropped into the prequel Clone Wars era. What it would have felt like if Clone Wars was live action. Oh man, it was great top to bottom. Now, once we move past these Clone Wars flashbacks, we merge into Anakin kind of becoming Darth Vader. You see a little glitch and he turns into Darth Vader in the smoke of the battle. He comes up to Ahsoka, whips out the red lightsaber, and they engage in a duel. And he says, you either live and learn or you die. And she doesn't know how to answer. And this man, Anakin, says, it's time for you to die. Like, that's it. End of the line. This is, you chose your fate. And then she later chooses to learn. And thank God she didn't choose the right answer first, because we never would have gotten this awesome fight sequence between them. Probably some of the best lightsaber battles we've seen since the prequels. Amazing. This show just keeps upping itself with the lightsaber fights. And I cannot complain whatsoever. So they fight it out. And I don't want to say she defeats him, because she doesn't. She never will be able to. It kind of just ends in this stalemate. He gets pulled out. And we start to wind down the episode there. This episode comes to a close with Ahsoka waking up with no headdress. She eventually gets covered up in this white garment, which I can only assume means that Ahsoka the White is back. Her going through the world between worlds and seeing Anakin and finish her training must have given her this spiritual awakening or a change in character, because she is back to the form that she was when we last saw her in Rebels. And I think, if anything, this shuts the naysayers down saying Ahsoka is emotionless, she's a different character. Because yes, she was a different character. Her friend is gone. She lost a Padawan. She left her master. She's gone through all of this bullshit to get to where she is now, and things aren't getting better. The Empire is coming back. She's very somber. She sees her master again, goes to the world between worlds, and is feeling very optimistic, and we see it at the end of this episode when she embraces Jason for a hug, when she smiles, when she cracks a joke at Hera, saying, how do you know this is gonna work? She says, I don't know. What? Bitch, she doesn't know if it's gonna take them where they need to go. She's just winging it. That is the Ahsoka we know, and she's back. And it's amazing. I can just tell these last 3 episodes are gonna smack us in the face, especially with how this new breath of life has been breathed into these characters, and just, they're gonna be in the midst of it. They're gonna see Thrawn. They're gonna be in the world beyond. And this episode was just perfectly crafted to do all that. I give this episode a solid 9.5 out of 10. It misses the 0.5 because when I realized all the Anakin stuff was over, I was just sad and just wanted more. But I understand it can't be a fan service fest. What we got was beautiful, and I can't thank Dave Filoni enough for this. This episode made me feel like a little kid again watching Star Wars, and I'm definitely going to be revisiting these series a lot more in the future, especially after we see how it ends. So, I've rambled enough. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new and want more Star Wars content and news. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Also, I totally forgot while I was editing this. Let me just tack this on here at the very end. Hayden Christensen's performance in this episode was amazing. Honestly, in terms of comparing it to his acting in the prequels and comparing it to just acting in general, this man put on a very great performance, and it blew his previous acting out of the water. You could definitely tell he's matured as an actor, and you could tell he really brought his A game and his care and passion to this role, brushed up on his Clone Wars knowledge, his Rebels knowledge, maybe even. But yeah, I just want to give some respect to the man Hayden Christensen for a very good emotional performance in this episode. See you guys later.